Another typical past paper question, P3 trigonometry, express 7 cos theta plus 24 sin theta in the form of r cos theta minus alpha. First step, write them equals to each other. 7 cos theta plus 24 sin theta is equals to r cos theta minus alpha. Make sure whatever you write it neatly so that you do not get confused when you're solving the question. What do we do next? We can't do much with the left hand side, we're going to keep it as it is. However, r cos theta minus alpha can have a compound angle identity on it. So we're going to say r cos theta cos alpha plus sin theta sin alpha. You should know your compound angles by now. If you don't, find my video in the playlist in which you can find that. R, remember, is with the entire expression, so we put a bracket. We solve that again, left hand side as it is. We open up the right hand side. Now expand that, r cos theta cos alpha plus r sin theta sin alpha. Cos theta cos alpha plus r sin theta sin alpha. So r got distributed with everything on the right hand side. Now what do we have next? What we're going to do now is compare the coefficients. So I'll rearrange this to write r cos alpha and then cos theta at the end. I'll tell you why I'm doing that. And this is also going to become r sin alpha sin theta. You can very well skip this step if you understand this. So comparing the coefficients, r cos alpha is equals to 7 because ये दोनों cos theta के coefficients हैं. R sin alpha is equals to 24. ये sin theta के coefficients. 7 is equals to r cos alpha. And what do we have over here? R sin alpha is equal to 24. R sin alpha over R cos alpha is equal to 24 over 7. Why are we doing that? Because sin alpha over cos alpha will turn into tan alpha. And R will get cut out. तो साइन को cos से डिवाइड किया इसलिए, ठीक है, और इसलिए 24 को भी 7 से करना पड़ गया. नाउ alpha is equal to tan inverse of 24 over 7 and that was give us the value of alpha. That's 77.739. That can become 73.7397. That can become 73.7, but we're not going to round off for now. The second step is squaring and adding both equations. Which equations? Ones that we formed over here, r cos alpha and r sin alpha. We're going to square them and add them because once sin over cos gave us tan, the other time sin square alpha plus cos square alpha is equals to 1, so that will reduce and help us find the value of r. Let me show you what I mean. R cos alpha का square means 7 का square भी लेना है, r sin alpha का square means 24 का square लेना है. And if I write them together, r square alpha plus r square cos square alpha plus r square sin square alpha, it is going to be equals to 49, which is the square of 7 plus 24 ka square. So let me take the squares first. 576. Now that I've taken the squares, I can add them. I'm choosing to add them. It's not that because we've taken the squares so we have to add them. We're choosing to add them to r square alpha. R square cos square alpha plus r square sin square alpha is going to be equals to 49 plus 576. I'll show you why it is beneficial or what it would help us with. R square is common. Now cos square alpha plus sin square alpha is essentially 1, and that essentially reduces to almost nothing because anything multiplied with 1 is number itself. This gives us 625. So So r square into 1 is equal to 625, then r square is equal to 625, and r की values comes out to be the square root of 625, which is just 25. So now we have to express it in this format. R cos theta minus alpha, we have the value of alpha and r, we're going to write them down. The theta stays as it is. It is kind of like expressing the equation of a line where we have to leave y and x and just plug in the value of m and c. तो इसी तरह ही है. R is 25, cos theta as it is, it's kind of like y and x over here in the equation of a straight line. Alpha is 70, let me correct that, 73.74, and there you have it. Because the question said answer to 2 decimal places, we rounded off to 2 decimal places. Hence solve this equation. Part 2. So 25 cos theta minus 73.74, and the question says it is equals to 15. We can plug that equals to 15. We just solved the equation in the first question. We're going to use that whenever the question says hence आपने पिछले part का आंसर यूज़ करना है. और range क्या है? Theta is from 0 to 360. Now if you've seen my videos in the playlist, whenever these the cos, the angle that you're taking the cos of that and the angle in the range matches, only then can you solve it. So I'll tell you what I mean. First of all, let's get rid of the 25. 15 over 25 cos theta minus 73.74 is equal to 15 over 25, which can simplify to 3 by 5. Now theta minus 73.74 is the angle, and it does not match with the angle that we have in the range. So we're going to suppose theta minus 73.74 as A. Now we can just say cos of A, just one angle, is equal to 3 by 5. We can take the inverse of cos inverse of 3 by 5, and we will end up with the basic angle alpha. Now we have to draw all those lines where cos is going to be positive because 3 by 5 was positive, right? Using cast rule, add sugar to coffee, whatever you're comfortable with, CAST. So cos is going to be positive in the fourth quadrant, which is this one, and the first quadrant because all trigonometry ratios are positive in the first quadrant. Now we're going to fix the range that I was talking about all the way along. So we're going to take away 73.74 from both sides. Theta minus 73.74, 360 minus 73.74, and 0 minus 73.74. The value of alpha has to be between this range, negative 73.74 to 286.26. So we can choose 53.13. We can choose 53.13 positive. First negative is clockwise, positive is anti-clockwise. Since alpha A was 73.74, theta minus 73.74, we're going to solve both of them with plugging in the value of A. So theta minus 73.74 is equal to 53.130. If we add that 73.74 into 53, we get 20.61, and the second time around we're going to add 53.13 to 73.74 and get 126.87.